Thanks to Moobin for partnering with me on this video. Find out more about the 402B label printer later on. Oh my god, how is it December? Hello friends, I'm sure I'm not the only one who is kind of losing it right now. It's so dark and I'm so busy. Possibly kind of ill? I know we're not talking about that. I don't want to admit that it's happening. Let us put all of this to one side for a moment. Let's work with what we have. Let's carve out some space. Let's find the time to do something nice. For it is the season of gifts. I unironically love giving people gifts. Like, it takes a lot for me to not just get incredibly carried away. It's just so good. I love it so much. This is very definitely a secular Christmas household, but it's just such a good holiday. I'm not mad about it. We are, however, running out of time. I think my gifting here is going to have to be strategic. Also, do you like my dressing gown? If you were after Christmassy content, I made this 3 years ago. I've had the knitting machine set up since I started working on the knitted waistcoat, and I put a pause on that for a second because I want to knit some gifts. It's so much faster than hand knitting and people love knitted gifts, so we're just sort of churning out scarves on this thing. So almost certainly we'll be getting on with that a little bit in this video. I also want to have a go at... So, I saw a video earlier in the month of someone making folded paper stars out of fabric, and we had a go in my Thanksgiving live stream, and I sort of hate it. It's really puffy and really thick and just way too big, and also kind of heavy for something that I'd want to like put on a tree. I don't know. It's not doing it for me, but I like the idea. So I think what I'm going to do, I've ordered some fancy paper. You guys, scrapbooking paper is really expensive. I did not realize that that was like a full-on pricey hobby. I thought it was something people did because it was cheap. I've ordered some nice paper. I'm going to have a go at making some stars. I think I've got the process more or less down. I have at least one other like backup idea for a thing I might want to do. And also roundabout now is usually when I make sweets for Christmas. I make basically the same thing every year, but every few years I've come across a new recipe that I wanted to give a go, so I'm up to I think now 3 different kinds of things. They're great because you just batch cook one big load of stuff and then you are covered for all the potluck Christmas parties that seem to happen roundabout now. I feel like I do want to sneak in a little bit of a sewing project somewhere in here, possibly some patchwork. I think I've got a bit of an idea for something that would be quite cute, and of course I have a lot of gifts to wrap, by which I mean I need to make gift bags, so there's probably going to be some gift bag stuff happening. That's enough messing around, let's get into it. This lighting is probably terrible. There's a reason I usually don't make videos in my kitchen. So I love me a scented candle, and one thing that I've wanted to do for a while, because I have a bunch of really cute scented candle containers where I've burnt most of the candle. There's still some wax in there. So for a really long time now I've wanted to like do something about that. Ideally, put more candles into the nice containers that I have. I did a little bit of digging online and it turns out making candles is not that difficult. We've gone overboard. So as well as a bunch of that is my cat. Where were we? So as well as replacing a bunch of my candles, I also want to make some gifts candles. I'm still trying not to buy too many raw ingredients, which mixed success. So I have got a box of candle tins, because I'm very fond of this is one that I've just cleaned out and I'm reusing, but I'm very fond of a candle tin. Obviously had to buy new wicks. That's something you can't do without. I'm going to reclaim as much of the wax as I can from my old candles. I've even got this weird bag of multicolored candle, but I had a Yankee Candle advent calendar a couple of Christmases ago. This is all of the bits that are left. We'll see what we do with that. I've also got this box of wax melts. I didn't get on with wax melts in the end. They're all soy wax. The wax that I've bought so much wax. The wax that I bought is all soy wax. They're already scented, so that in theory works. One of the reasons I couldn't get on with the wax melts is because they're actually too strong. So in theory, if I dilute them a bit more, that might be better. We're going to try it. We're going to give it a go. First thing to do though is to clean out some of these old candles and reuse as much of the wax as possible. With the old candles, I found that the best option was just to sit the whole thing in simmering water. Luckily, they were all pretty resilient containers, and then pour out the liquid leftover wax into a random silicone mould I had to solidify. Then I could clean out any residue with paper towels. Putting in the wicks is definitely the part that I think I need to get better at, or maybe I just need better supplies. I had a couple come loose and float. It wasn't difficult to do, but I think there's some finesse I'm missing. Please excuse the fact that I am still wearing my gilet from archery. It's really cold. So now that I'm going with the making candles idea, something I thought would be really cool is if I can make like handmade labels to tell whoever I give that candle to what scents it's supposed to be, or even just that they were handmade by me. And honestly, this is just a perfect opportunity for me to show you my new toy, which is a label printer from Moonbin. Previously, I've used Moonbin's thermal printer for my patterns and I really enjoyed it. So they've been kind enough to send me their 402B label printer to test out. Just like I would expect from Moonbin, the printer is compact and attractive. I used the app to select one of the thousands of available templates, and it was really easy to edit right there on my phone. I could connect wirelessly through Bluetooth to my phone or my computer, and with automatic label size detection, printing was as easy as just pushing a button. Not only is the printer quick and smooth, but it's reliable. The paper jam rate is an average of 0.01%, so it won't waste your labels or your time. There's lots of cute label options available, but the 402B can also print shipping labels. I tested this out from my computer and it was just as easy as making the decorative ones. There's even the option to use the online editor if you'd like some of the same template options as you get on the app. Moonbin also offers a 2-year warranty, so I think this would be a great choice for a small business that needs a reliable multi-purpose label printer. Just remember that this is a thermal printer, so I'll only be using these labels on the lids of my homemade candles. If you'd like to get your own, check out the link in my description. I say that? I was fine with when we were feeding the lizard worms. I was fine with those. I think these folded stars are Scandinavian in origin, but they're super quick and easy to make once you get into a rhythm. And, if you're me, once you finally get it straight in your head what order the middle folding section should go in. I don't know why that bit in particular stumped me for so long. I cut a lot of narrow strips from the scrapbooking paper and then put an audiobook on and worked my way through the pile. Every year I make the same sweets for Christmas, and this year it's the full gang: fudge, sugar plums, and Christmas pudding chocolates. I'll link all the recipes in the description, although the sugar plum recipe is generally more of a vague hint, and there's lots of different sweets that all get called sugar plums. I just put whatever nuts and dried fruits I can get my hands on into a food processor, add some spices and some kind of binding. You can use jam or honey, but I went with golden syrup so I could have an option that was vegan. Then you make the mix into balls and roll them in granulated sugar. So this is my spare room, where at the moment I'm storing a bunch of random stuff I don't currently have room for in the workroom. When I bought my second knitting machine, so not my first knitting machine was the Singer, that one's up here, and then the Brother 910, which I got quite a while ago now. Maybe I'll get to it over Christmas, I don't know. But when I bought it, it was a big bundle, so it wasn't sent in the post, I had to go and pick it up. And when I got there, they were like, yeah, the person who owned this sadly isn't with us anymore, we've got all of their stuff. Do you want it? Please take it away. So that's how I ended up with a couple of boxes of accessories, a big bag of all the patterns and that, and a frankly embarrassing quantity of yarn. Now, some of this yarn I can for sure see myself using, like I could see this wouldn't be everyone's choice, but I'm quite fond of this sort of mustard colour. That's quite a nice mild purpley blue. There's this really bright cobalty blue, which I absolutely adore. There's some green, there's some brown, there's a lot of grey, there's a couple of different blues. But there is also some kind of grim colours. This is a sort of baby pink. This is a particularly yellowy cream. There's a couple of white ones, which that's just not a colour I see myself getting a lot of use out of. And some more like baby blues that is just not so much my style. I prefer more of a bright or a dark blue. Anyway, I figured that the knitting machine makes making simple flat panels of stocking stitch so quick and easy that just churning out scarves is actually like not a big deal, and I can probably use some of this yarn to make gifts. Honestly, I think the most difficult part of that process is going to be sewing them up. Finally, I did want a sewing project as a bit of a palette cleanser, so I decided to have a go at making some coasters, as I thought that was a pretty universal good gift. I have never in my life bought a set of coasters, and yet we need them all the time. I cut out some squares of wool batting and layered them on an oversized piece of wool melton. That's a wool fabric that's so dense it's almost felted. I used a crazy patchwork technique to cover the batting, deliberately only using one colour for each coaster and only using natural materials. The synthetics would probably also have been completely fine, but I'm not risking it. Then I cut some 1/2-inch strips of the wall Melton and I pieced those around the patchwork, covering up the raw edges. When that's all top stitched in place, I can trim the backing down to the right size and do a final top stitch all the way around the edge. And lo, that is it. I feel like this one was a little bit disjointed, a little bit all over the place, but hopefully you enjoyed it and it gave you some ideas for things that you could potentially do either for Christmas or over the break for maybe people you're seeing a little bit after Christmas. I sometimes feel we should do what the Spanish do, at least if we're hand making gifts and give presents on like the 6th of January, because then you can use the time between Christmas and New Year to just work on people's presents. Maybe this should be a thing. Maybe we can make this a thing. Handmade gift giving is like on a separate day. Anyway, I think everything turned out pretty great. The scarf is super cute. I'm very happy with it. The candles were a lot of fun. I don't know how good they are as candles. Like, I basically assume that most of them will work. There definitely were some imperfections that perhaps learning more about candle making will help me correct over time. I've got all this stuff now, so I can just keep going, you know? I love the coasters. They're going to be very hard to give away. It's super nice to actually be using my patchwork knowledge for good and doing something productive instead of just endlessly making patchwork, because it's fun and I like it. More on that to come in the new year, I feel. And the sweets all turned out great, but they always do. They're very repetitive. I always just make the same couple of recipes because I know they work. So anyway, I think that's it from me for 2024. Am I ready for 2025? Absolutely not. But hey, we can all be dragged kicking and screaming into the new year together. I for one hope that this Christmas I mostly get sleep. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to keep the YouTube gods happy. Follow me on Instagram to see pictures of my cat. I promise one of these days I'll get around to posting something that isn't cat pictures on Instagram. Cat pictures and memes. There are a lot of memes. Down in the description box you can find a link to my Ko-fi page where you can make a one-off or reoccurring donation to support this channel, and down below the video you can also find a join button to become a member of the channel. Memberships gets you early access to all of my videos, plus special little badges and emoji. The emoji are Thursday pictures. I'm quite proud of those. The artist I commissioned captured his chaotic spirit perfectly. I've also started doing monthly blog posts, which are, I say started, I've done one. They get posted in both places. Gonna see how that works out. Anyhow, no matter how you're supporting the channel, even if it's just by watching the videos, I really appreciate you and I couldn't do what I do without your help. Dream big, and I'll see you next year.